2nd and 10. Number 90, Rick Klassen, coming up with the defensive play of the game so far for the BC Lions.
36 all-time in total sacks, period, among any defender. That's really something. That includes linebackers, defensive backs, you name it. So there's only 35 players with more sacks than him.
Yeah.
And that really is testament to his longevity, too. That is really good out of, you're talking 5,000, 6,000 defenders.
Yeah.
That's all right.
Burgess is taken down by the ankle. Waited a little too long, and his former teammate, Rick Klassen.
Rick Klassen really is undersized. I guess I'd call him an undersized defensive tackle at about 245 pounds. But I don't think anybody in the league plays with more intensity or emotion. He's just one of these guys that he'll keep clawing, scratching, fighting as he's crawling to get the quarterback. Just tremendous effort. I know the Saskatchewan defense certainly misses him.
You're entitled to call him undersized. I don't think I will.
What do you remember about my dad as a player?
I remember him, first of all, the image in my mind is that he was really good at doing this one thing. And that was he took up space. And I say that as a compliment. He was able to fill holes and get a piece of what was of the running back with the ball. We didn't collect tackles data back then, so it's hard to record a lot of that. But he was really mobile, and he could move side to side and fill the hole. Remember, he was always there, that he was quick, whereas you get guys back in the early days, linemen, they weren't that. So Rick was sort of innovative in that way. He was much more athletic than you were used to as defensive linemen. And your dad was one of those quicker defensive linemen that surprised you. He wasn't the hugest guy in the world,
Yes,
but he stopped up holes. And he was one of those, you could almost say, complementary players in a way, that he was there, and it was hard to move him out of the way. And those are the visual images I have of his play.
Jones gives to McVeigh again. The Lions are more into this play.
Game, that's Andy McVeigh on the carry.
Well, there's a good look at a fellow that, regardless of what the score is, he's got the reputation of going full blast all the time.
I would say he is among the top 3 defensive tackles that ever played in the Canadian Football League as Canadians. I can't, and I would base that not solely on statistics, but on my vision of their influence, longevity. There's one overlooked stat in all sports that really, really plays itself out, especially in baseball and basketball, and that is starts. Game started, because that reflects the confidence of your coach. They chose you, and to me, that's the stat that has the most meaning.
Well, you're going to see Dunnigan come out, as you said, Tom, pull up. He wants to throw to his left. Right about here, he's ready to let the ball go, but the coverage, the defense is sliding. There's no place to go, and Rick Klassen, he does it. He's not splashy, not spectacular, but you look for big plays, you can bet he's going to be around it. And
based on stats, do you think my dad should be in the Canadian Football Hall of Fame?
How many players, Canadian players, and this gets to your question, have more sacks than Rick? 3. Stu Laird isn't one of them. He's one of them. Leroy Blue and Brent Johnson. And that's it. The next below him is Ricky Foley. Nick Hebler. And there's a guy in the Hall of Fame with less, named Doug Brown.
Holloway has 2 seconds left to get the play out. Just made it. And down he goes again. Rick Klassen.
Your dad is now number 5 all-time in Grey Cup sacks. Only 4 players, all of whom I think, maybe not Fennell, are in the Hall of Fame.
sacking Ken Hobart, and Rick Klassen appears to be intent upon earning that Outstanding Performer Award from this 1985 Grey Cup game as he did in '83.
Do we recognize players of a certain, I guess for lack of use an anthropological term, a certain typology? They fill in these characteristics. They're Canadian of this position. Are we representative of it? And that's where your dad would have the highest likelihood to get some consideration, because he has the numbers that warrant it. With respect to the Hall of Fame, you have to think different about the different things that players brought to the game. And your dad's one of them. What mold does he fit? You can compare him very positively and directly, and this is how you would do it, to Doug Brown. Period. There's your analog.
Yeah.
And you need those hooks
Yeah.
to say, this player with these numbers is in and this one isn't. Why not? And that's the route.